Ramsuratkumar, Suratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Suratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Ram Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama Rama Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamastu. இல்ல ஏன் பேசாது இங்கிலீஷ்ல தான் பேசுறேன். With deep, grateful pranams, we have offered the Nama flowers at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. This is no small grace that we are able to gather here, so many of us, in the powerful shrine of our Bhagwan, and sing his auspicious, powerful Nama. Let us celebrate this grace and keep it ever in mind with gratitude. Now, before we offer our today's prayer, we shall shift to Sanadi Street house. Please switch it off. Thank you. Now there's a scene there. After Agaram Jayaraman came into the house, Swami very carefully locked the gate. Swami's companion, canine companion, Sai Baba, was inside, and Bhagwan said, our friend Sai Baba is helping this beggar in father's work. But you see, Jayarama, after he gets food, he runs away. And then this beggar doesn't get to see him for some time until he wants food again. And what is more, this is Deepam time, and many lakhs of people would be coming. It will be so crowded. And Sai Baba, when he goes out, some of those people who don't like this beggar, they throw stones at the face of Sai Baba, hurting him. These people could not hurt me, and therefore they take this opportunity to hurt Sai Baba, knowing that he comes to me. So this beggar is very, very careful now. He doesn't want to let Sai Baba out, so he is locking the gate. By the way, Sai Baba is a dog kept by Bhagwan sometimes. And Bhagwan used to appreciate this particular companion, saying that he is helping in his father's work. And once a family had visited, and one of the boys, the small boy in the family, was a little frightened by the Sai Baba. So he began to say in Tamil, Nai, 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 Appa Nai. He was afraid, so he was pointing. He was telling his father to keep this dog away. Bhagwan got wild. He said, you call this Nai? He's no Nai. He's Sai. He's Sahai. He is the helper. He is Baba. And that is how it became Sai Baba. At least this is what we understand from what Bhagwan says. Right from the beginning, he was calling this dog Sai Baba and declared that he was helping him in his father's work. And Bhagwan would share his food. There is a photograph in the Pradhan Mandir, a very big one, at the very entrance of Pradhan Mandir. If you look at it, you would see Bhagwan in the rags of a beggar with his coconut shell feeding a dog. he would put his hand into the coconut shell, take food, and then put his hand into the mouth of the dog, feeding him. And he had taken the leftover in the coconut shell. I have seen Westerners and many people, Indians also, keeping pet dogs. And they're very fond of these dogs, and they would even put them on the bed. But I have never seen anyone taking the leftover food of a dog. Only a Brahmagyani who sees Brahman in every being could do that. So Bhagwan looked upon this dog, Sai Baba, as his companion in Father's work. And you see, he kept the door locked. Otherwise, Sai Baba would go away and get hurt. Bhagwan, right from the beginning, was showing such mercy, kindness and love towards animals. Even in the ashram, when he was staying in the Parnashala, every day we had to get a new loaf of bread for the sake of the crows. We would cut them into pieces and put them for the crows. There were 2 dogs, puppies, skin and bones, and they were so afraid to come anywhere near human beings. They must have been beaten up so cruelly. They were afraid if anyone was around. And then Bhagwan said, bring the loaf of bread and put that food. He pointed to a stone there and he said, put that bread there on the stone. But the dogs would not come anywhere near. They were backing out, trembling in fear. So Bhagwan said, after keeping the food, please move away. Let them come freely and eat it. And that is how the dog, there was a red one and a black one, they began to eat. And once they started, they understood that these human beings were not going to beat them, and they meant well. So they became free of the fear, and they started to move about freely in the ashram also. And then Bhagwan said to me, you keep that stone there. See that it's not being taken away by anybody. And you mark that place. The stone should not be taken away by anybody. So immediately I took some white powder with which we do the rangoli and made a mark around it. But even then, one day, it was lost. They were building a building and the stone was taken away. And Bhagwan immediately ordered me to go in search of that particular stone, had it brought there, and then he said, you put something there around that. He called for the iron pegs, 4 of them, and he asked me to put them on the earth around that piece of stone. And then he asked me to go to a lemon tree, pluck 5 lemons. So when I brought them, he said, put 4 lemons, 1 on each peg, and then the 5th one on the stone itself. And now you make the mark around this. So I put, instead of making a line there, I just put a rangoli around. And the lemons were there for a long time. And Bhagwan said, see to it that this stone is not removed. Now I got very curious. I have narrated these details before, But then let's go through it again for our own sake. I asked Bhagwan, what is the significance? A dog came and it ate its food, and that's all there is to it. This is what we saw. Bhagwan, why are you making a monument of it? What is the point? Then Bhagwan looked at me and said, you know the story of Mahabharata? You know how the Pandavas, at the end of the story, would walk up the Himalayas. As they climbed more and more, Draupadi would fall down dead. And after some time, one brother after the other would also fall down and die of thirst and hunger. And it was very cold. They had nothing to protect themselves. And finally, Dharmaputra would be walking alone. Out of nowhere, a dog would come and join. The dog also looked sickly, not very much in good health, but still the dog accompanied Dharmaputra, and it went through the same difficulties that Dharmaputra himself experienced, hunger, thirst. When he came to the point when he could take no more, not a single step more, he had reached the end of his strength. The dog was still there with him, going through the same experience, and would not leave. And just at the time, a chariot, a golden chariot, came down. The charioteer said, Dharmaputra, this chariot has been sent for you by Indradev, the king of the Devas. You can climb into it and you could go straight to the heavens. Dharmaputra was very happy because he had thought he had reached the end of his life. And suddenly, he found his chariot ready to take him. Then he turned very casually to the dog and said, you climb first and then I'll climb after. Now the charioteer was alarmed. He said, no, Swami, not for this dog. This chariot is meant for you. Only you can come. Now, Dharmaputra was shocked. He said, look, this dog has accompanied me all through the way up to this point. It would not leave me, and it went through the same difficulties as I. How can I leave this dog here and climb to the heaven? Not possible for me. Then I don't want this chariot. You please go tell Indradev that I don't want to come. I would rather die with this dog here. Up till this point, Bhagavan narrated detail after detail, and then he said, Devaki, that's all. This is the significance. And then he kept quiet. I had no courage to pursue further because his tone was decisive, very firm, would not encourage any further questions. But then, soon I understood that it was all symbolic. Anyone, any devotee of a great master should follow the great master without leaving him, but faithfully follow him till the end, till his last ounce of strength. Then the Grand Master, the great master, would not go away leaving the dog behind, leaving the devotee. A devotee should be like a dog, faithful and grateful to the great master for all the blessings. So I understood Bhagwan meant this, that if any devotee should follow him up to their last moment with faith and gratitude, he would see that the devotee is taken into his fold. Bhagwan has given me the promise that at the end of the last breath of every one of his devotees, he would appear by the side of the devotee and take them by hand. What a promise, what a blessing. Such was Bhagwan's fondness for the dogs. You can see the stone even there, even now, there on the spot. Surprisingly, there is a Rudraksha tree near that. Now, I had seen Bhagwan showing such kindness and love to a tree inside Arunachaleshwara temple and to the elephant there. Sri Gajaraja Farani writes that once Bhagwan took him from Sannadhi Street house straight inside the temple. They walked up to the elephant. And Bhagwan felt the pain of the elephant. Turning to Gajaraji, said, he took out 2 rupees from his pocket and said, buy some bananas for the elephant, just for this 2 rupees. Don't add any more. And bring them. So when he brought the bananas, Bhagwan began to feed the elephant by his own hand and said, this elephant was tortured yesterday. People do not think that this friend is helping Arunachaleshwara. He is also a worker of Arunachaleshwara temple, just as the other people are. He should be given the respect and love that he deserves as a worker of this temple. He was feeling very deeply for the elephant. I'm sure the elephant was cured and got its share of blessings from Bhagwan. I remember another story from Gajaraji, that at one point Bhagwan would go to the tree, Arunachaleshwara, Stalavriksha, the Bakul tree. He would stand near and there would be tears in his eyes. He would point to the tree and say, look what these people have done. Those who needed the skin of the tree would peel it off and take it for their medicine. So much damage has been done to the tree, weakening the tree for the sake of the medicine. But there are so many trees like this outside the temple. They could go to any one of them for their medicine. But here they come to this tree inside, which is serving Arunachaleshwara. The tree is a worker. He is also a worker, serving Lord Arunachaleshwara, but he is not shown love and respect due to him. Instead, people are weakening it by taking away those outer strips. And then he called the officer in charge and said, please see to it that such a thing is not done anymore. And then, of course, they began to take care. I had seen Bhagwan sitting in the garden of Sudama, and any time any big ant, that black big ant, should come near, and then I would try to move it away from him, he would stop me and say, "Look, Devaki, we are in their territory. We should not chase them out like this." And then he would very softly and gently tap the floor behind the ant, and the ant would move away. He would do it so gently, with such tenderness on his face, saying that we were in their territory. We were the trespassers. So you see, Bhagwan looked upon even the insects and the animals and the trees as helpers in Father's work. And they should be treated with the same respect and love as the devotees. Now we should remember this, and we should also remember how Bhagwan locked the gate whenever the dog displayed the tendency to go out and get hurt. Bhagwan would do this to us also. Our mind keeps wandering. No matter how much you try to hold it on Bhagwan, it would run away the next moment after some of those worldly things. You would be thinking of something that happened in the past or something that would happen in future. The mind wouldn't sit on Bhagwan's thought. So let us pray to Bhagwan, chanting his name, and he would lock our mind in so that our mind would stay put on him. He knows that when our mind goes out, we would only get hurt. So this wandering of the mind has to be stopped effectively, and only the grace can do it. So let us appeal to Bhagwan to control our minds just as he controlled Sai Baba. We are helpers, we are workers, we are sevaks. He would definitely take care of us. So let us offer our prayer today. Bhagwan, we beg you to control our minds for our sake, since we are unable to do it. You have to lock us in effectively and grant us the blessing of constant remembrance of your name. We beg you for your immediate intervention, divine intervention, to keep the whole humanity free from the viruses of the body and the mind. The mind has many viruses too, and it is not seasonal like the other virus. They are there all the time. The viruses of the mind, the killer fear, the panic that we go through unreasonably, the grief, anger, jealousy, and whatnot. These viruses have to be killed only by Bhagwan. And that is why we have to take his name. Each Nama does its transforming work. It not only purifies our mind, it also protects us from our past karmas. It has the power to destroy our bad karmas of the past, or at least mitigate the suffering from that. We beg you, Bhagwan, to arrest the rapid spread of the diseases of the body and mind, and enter those appropriate medicines meant for controlling these viruses and work. We beg you to give a boost to our economy. And we beg you again for all those great warriors who have been fighting the disease at the very risk of their lives. Those who work selflessly for the sake of the others. Please give them protection and all-round welfare. We beg you again for the right attitude to life, and that is that we are only instruments in your hands. And we beg you to bless us to be good instruments in your hands so that we run our everyday life as an offering to you. And finally, we beg for that supreme state of being. We beg you for that ultimate grace, for complete purification of the mind so that we could see only your presence in everything, in everyone, everywhere. And only your leelas, delightful leelas, in all happenings of the world and life. And particularly, even in the worst, cruel sufferings of life, we should be able to see your hidden grace, your grace in disguise, which is meant for our greater good. We beg you again and again for that eternal living in your universal being. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.